I'm excited to introduce to you a brand new program that I've spent the better part of the last 6 months creating. It's called Simple Strength, and it is a very simple strength training program for women 40 plus who may or may not have experience lifting weights and who know they need to start progressively strength training in a smart, intelligent way that helps them build up their lean body mass so they can restore their metabolic function, make it through midlife and menopause without breaking down, and really honestly enjoy epic metabolic health for the rest of your life. So, metabolism is the system of the body that I care about, and strength training is a major metabolic helper. And it's worth mentioning that as we get in, our late 40s into our 50s, our metabolic health really tanks because our lean body mass tanks. And all of the things that bring us into kind of an uncomfortably unhealthy old age are considered to be metabolic diseases and metabolic dysfunction. So anyway, I love metabolism. I think about it all the time, but you also should love it. And you should love it for more than just weight loss purposes. You should love it because it's really the seat of the fuel and energy system of your body. And you want to be an energized, fueled human for the rest of your life. So you should also care about metabolism. But hey, I'll tell you what, if you do want to lose body fat, shoring up your lean body mass and encouraging great metabolic health at the muscle cells is a way to do it. I think strength training is an incredible helper for body recomposition, including fat loss. There's a million reasons why I love strength training, why I created Simple Strength. I'm going to get into it with you today. This talk is going to take you through what is Simple Strength, why did I make it, and how does it work? And then just so you know, you can get it for $10. Okay, so I'm opening this up for lifetime access for $10 because why not? You just go to www.eatsimple.ca/strong. Eatsimple.ca/strong. You pay $10. You're going to get lifetime access to this program. You might as well. But I will tell you something before I get into this. The statistics on people actually opening and doing online strength training programs is astonishingly low. Less than 10% of people who purchase or get an online training program actually open it and do it. That means that of 100 people, 100 of you beautiful people who are going to buy it, only like 10 of you are going to do it. That's not great odds. It doesn't work if you don't do it. So if you're going to buy it for $10, do it. Make sure you do it. For whatever it's worth, this is why $10 isn't a great price point for stuff like this, because it's cheap. So you'll just buy it. Things that are more expensive, you might be more inclined to do. But I'm just not going to make this expensive because this is simple strength. It is simple. This is simple old school gym stuff. And just so you know, I'm a simple old school gym girly. I've actually been strength training since I started exercising in the gym around age 18. Even though that was back in the 90s when women were doing a ton of cardio, I kind of was interested in the weight room. I was going to this gym at the time. It was a women's only gym and had a major fitness class community. It was the fitness classes were where the women went. And I was also a fitness instructor at this gym. So I had this humongous fitness studio. We would get 100 participants in fitness classes. It was the heyday of group fitness, like step aerobics and high-low and boot camp type classes and you name it. But this gym was huge. This women's only gym had this enormous weight room that was empty. It was completely empty. So I started wandering around in there and I didn't know what I was doing. I just started lifting weights and I just immediately liked how it felt. I do think that's probably a little unique. Not everybody likes the way it feels, but I immediately liked the way it felt. It felt really productive. Somewhere in the back of my mind, my lizard brain, my body knew that strength training and moving things around deliberately was a more appropriate use of a human body than flailing around in a fitness studio. Which, by the way, I still do that to this day. I'm still a fitness instructor. And I do find those classes really fun, but man, I've been in the weight room since I was 18, off and on in terms of my consistency. But about 3 months ago, literally on July 1st of 2025, I'm about to turn 49. Because July is my birthday month, and I'm feeling old. My shoulders won't work. I wake up in the morning with sore shoulders having not done anything. My toes hurt. My ankles hurt. My knees hurt. My knees hurt, and it really bothered them to bend and squat, so I kind of stopped squatting. I wasn't really consistently in the weight room at this time because I was so busy with work. So I let myself get too busy with work and life and life got in the way, as it does. And now I'm feeling very old and kind of decrepit in my body. And that's just not okay for me. I just don't believe that. I don't believe that a body just breaks down because you turned a certain age, because you made a certain number of laps around the sun. I don't believe it. I don't buy it for 1 second. Somewhere in the back of my mind, I said, my joints aren't feeling good because I'm not really using them. So immobility is one of the worst things for joint health. We're going to talk about joint health quite a bit here today. Immobility, not using your joints, is one of the reasons why joints hurt. Now, when we're talking about joints, this is really basic exercise physiology. Joints move, and I'm going to use my shoulder because it's visible on camera. Joints move when muscles pull them and push them into different orientations. So by moving my arm like this, I've got certain muscles that are lifting my arm and certain muscles that are lowering my arm. Muscles move joints. If your joints don't feel like they're moving well, that might be something that your muscles can help you with, because their muscles are designed to move your joints around. I'm in this world, right? So I live in the world of health and wellness. So I get to see a lot of stuff and get to hear a lot of ideas. And this idea that strength training is joint health and strength training is mobility training makes sense to me. Now, that might sound counterintuitive to you, because I think sometimes we think, well, exercise puts wear and tear on the joints. So if you're moving your arm up and down, that joint's going to wear out. Well, the bones of the joint can wear out if the connective tissue and muscle around the joint isn't in good shape. Then the bones are kind of rubbing against each other and you're kind of doing this unintentional movement. But intentional movement, using muscles and healthy connective tissue to move joint, really takes the pressure and the wear and tear out of the joint, right? Because the muscle is moving the joint. It's not just bone on bone. It's bone with muscle surrounding it and really healthy, robust connective tissue and all the lubrication and the nourishment that goes into the joint by moving the joint. I do believe that joint health comes from strength training, not stretching, actually moving your joints. Immobility and passive stretching is not great for joint health, but movement is great for joint health. Movement against resistance encourages muscle strength, connective tissue strength, great just tissue tolerance in general. Tissue tolerance is an interesting concept because that's what I felt. I felt like my tissues feel like they've become intolerant. And that's probably how we could, if we were going to be total nerds about it, describe the process of physical aging is, oh, my tissues have become very intolerant. I think about my dad, whose tissues became so intolerant, in a manner of speaking, that he has to keep all of his dishes on the counter in his apartment because he can't even put them away in the cupboard anymore. He's lost the ability to open the cupboard door and put the dishes in the cupboard. That's all shoulder mobility. His shoulders won't lift higher than the counter now. He basically shrugs his dishes up from the dishwasher onto the counter. That's not okay. That happened over time and through some mismanagement. And I'm not going for that. I want to be able to put my dishes in the cupboard for my whole life. And you can extrapolate it out to picking up the grandkids, putting your luggage in the overhead bins, whatever, living your life. When you live your life, you have to move your joints around. So it's a good idea to start doing that now and do it deliberately under some load so that you can develop the tissue tolerance and the resiliency. Okay, so back to my story, small anecdote to lead us in here. On July 1st, 2025, I didn't like the way my body felt, so I made a move in my life. I said, I'm going to start consistently strength training 3 days a week. That's it. That's enough. I'm going to put together a plan that covers off the fundamental lifts so I can get all my muscles strong and move all my joints through really appropriate range of motion without spending hours at the gym because I don't have time for that. I'm busy. I don't have time for that. So what I did is I adjusted my calendar, my personal calendar, between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. I have that 2-hour block blocked off. You can't get into my calendar between 7 and 9 a.m., Monday through Friday, so that I can go to the gym and just get strength training in. I don't go every day because I listen to my body. I decide, okay, today's the day I'm going to rest or today I'm going to go. But I go to the gym around 7 in the morning, 7 or 8 in the morning, depending on what time I can get there. Because I have to drive into the city. I have to get up, do all my chores, get in the car, drive to the city, do the workout, drive home, sort of pull myself together because then I'm on Zoom all day. Now, for me to eliminate 2 hours out of my calendar, that's 2 hours of my workday gone. And that's 2 hours of my income gone because I only get paid when I'm working, really, in private practice. So I really do have to work. I work for myself and I'm responsible for my income that way. But it was a no-brainer. I needed to take care of my body. My body was telling me, hey, you're not taking care of me. You're not taking care of this body. Here's some aches and pains to tell you that you're not taking care. And I didn't want to feel those aches and pains. They were seriously freaking depressing. I felt so useless. I couldn't move around my little hobby farm. Even hurt to like blow dry my hair because my shoulders were so achy. Everything freaking hurt. And again, I go back to this. It's so tempting when things hurt to stop moving, but that makes it worse. And I was noticing that like, this is getting worse. I was trying all kinds of hormone therapy and all kinds of other pain management medication and things like that through my doctor, but also some plant medicine stuff. I was trying it all just to get my shoulders and my toes to feel better, my knees, so that I could live my life again, but it wasn't working. So I thought, well, you know, it'd be worth a try is strength training because I know the power of strength training for joint health. And I had noticed that my midsection had gotten a little thicker, which is just kind of a little signal from your body during the menopause transition that there's been a bit of a metabolic shift. So when estrogen leaves, there's just a little bit of a metabolic like blip, like, oh, fuel's different now. Fuel kind of just behaves a little differently in the body now. So we do have to change our inputs. And if you've ever said what used to work stopped working for me in my 40s, yeah, it did. It literally did. You have to change what you did. So if what used to work was cardio and salads, that doesn't work anymore. You now have to lift weights. You now have to eat protein. I know. It's way different. Cardio and salads, weights and protein, what the hell? But your body did change. It needs different metabolic inputs. And strength training is one of them. So since I've started this strength training on July 1st, it's now September 29th that I'm recording this. 3 months have gone by and I've committed to 3 strength training sessions a week, which is exactly what I prescribe in Simple Strength. My joints feel amazing. I have 0 joint pain. I got to tell you, there haven't been many years in my life or days in my life where I could honestly say I have 0 joint pain. But since I've consistently strength trained, progressing weight over time, my joints feel perfect. They work perfectly. Even a shoulder that I thought I had a bad shoulder. I thought I might need shoulder surgery. It's perfect. My knees, perfect. I can squat, I can lunge, I can bend down, I can climb up things. And then spontaneous things change. Like I had a spare afternoon in my calendar, so I went out to the mountains and did a really steep hike. And I would not have done that if my knees were sore. But I got to go out in nature and do a hike and get away from my computer and have a small, like little natural moment in beautiful nature, like because my knees felt good. The other day I had to run because I was out for a walk and I lost track of time and I had to get back for a coaching call. So I had to run back. I don't run, but I ran. I was like, this feels fine. I can run. Like everything's better. And I lost the chunkiness that had started to kind of creep up around my midsection. I've got food dialed in. So I'm following my own fat loss eating program, metabolic support program that I created 15 years ago. 15 years ago, I was in my mid 30s. You know, I had major metabolic dysfunction. So I created this program that resolved that back then. But then we go through this next phase of metabolic dysfunction as we get into menopause transition, and my eating program works for that as well. But you have to just kind of make some slight changes or just, you know, notice things. So I'm eating a little more protein and now I'm strength training, and it really did resolve that little thickening that I was noticing around my midsection. It's all good. I'm good. Everything's looking good and feeling good. And all I had to do was carve out 45 minutes to an hour 3 times a week. If you heard me say that and you're like, well, I could never do that, I just don't have time for that. You have to solve that problem. That's not going to serve you. It's a bit of a tough love moment, gals. But if you're going to say, no, I don't have time for strength training, I'm busy, this isn't going to pan out for you. Your body will break down. Your tissues will start to degrade quickly. Your lean body mass starts to leave after your 30th birthday. And then after your 50th birthday, it drops off a cliff. You got to keep it. You got to keep it so you can be metabolically healthy, fit into your clothes, like the way you look, but also so you can feel good and vibrant in a body that actually works. You have to do it. I don't love accepting too busy as an excuse. It's an absolutely lame excuse. And I did it too. I did it for years. For years and years and years, I was holding court pretty good. My body composition was okay. So I didn't feel very incentivized to prioritize strength training until my body started breaking down. Then I was like, whoa, I need to prioritize this because this is just going to get worse. If I don't do something, this just gets worse. It doesn't just magically resolve itself. Nothing magically resolves itself. You have to do something. So for me, it was, okay, I'm going to take out a couple hours of my week on Zoom. So I'm probably earning less money because I'm doing less work, but this is worth that for me. So I had to create the time. I had to create the flexibility in my own personal income, which is hard as well, time and money. But this is my body. And like, what kind of time am I going to get on the back end of life by having a body that works? You got to think longer term. I don't love the no time thing. Now, simple strength is designed for women who are busy. Every single thing I do is designed for busy women because I know we're busy. I don't love it, but it's true. So the metabolic mentorship, my eating program, my philosophy, my protocol, it's simple. Simple strength is simple, very untime consuming because adherence is the most important thing. You have to do it. I've done it for 3 months and I'll never quit now because the results are just amazing. And you know what? Can I just tell you guys something? I follow a lot of like menopause influencers on Instagram now. They all say the same thing. It's like, I was hating my perimenopause body until I started strength training and it changed everything. I'm like, blah, blah, blah. Okay, whatever. I get it. But then I did it and it changed everything. And now it's like, gosh, they were right. It changes everything. But strength training is hard if you've never done it before. It's hard to know what to do. There's a million exercises you could do, but you don't have to do all of them. So I developed Simple Strength to be the simplest, most effective strength training program that I could possibly think of in my 30 years of experience in the weight room. I pulled out 6 exercises that will get the job done for you in 30 to 45 minutes, 2 to 3 times a week. Tell me you can't do that. When it's this worth it, the payoff will blow your mind. In 3 months, even I, a seasoned exerciser, have seen changes in my body, changes in my health, my joint health, my metabolic health that I didn't think were possible. I thought I had it all pretty dialed. I've just gone to the next level and it's freaking awesome. Now, I'm still in the preamble, baby, but I'm going to rifle through Simple Strength to tell you how and why. Okay, I'm going to reiterate a lot of what I shared here on the why. But a few years ago, I was invited to come and work at a little personal training studio in town. It's a really cool little boutique gym. They wanted me to come and lead a couple fitness classes a week. And they said, what kind of class would you like to teach? And because this is more of a boutique studio, I teach fitness classes at a gym, but I teach at a big box gym. I don't have a lot of flexibility, but at this boutique studio, I had flexibility to create a program that I wanted to create. So I said, well, I'd like to create a strength training program where people come in and they do basic lifts with heavy weights that progress over time. I think that could be a pretty cool group fitness experience. So I tried it. It was called Simple Strength. I called the class Simple Strength. Everything I do is simple. It was cool. The only struggle was that people didn't show up consistently. And so if you don't show up consistently, you cannot progress. And progression is really critical. So people might just drop into the class once in a while and I'd say, okay, whatever weight you used last time, use, 2.5 pounds more. And they'd be like, I don't know what I used last time, or I don't think I can go 2.5 pounds more. We have to be able to progress the weight over time. That's how you get stronger. That's how you get better. And I wasn't able to do that in the group fitness model, but I can do it online. I can do it online and I've created this online. I'm going to show you how it works. But remember, fewer than 10% of people who purchase or acquire an online training program actually freaking do it. If you don't do it, it's not going to work. And then you know what you're not allowed to do? You're not allowed to go out there and say, well, I tried Erin's Simple Strength program and it didn't work. If you don't do it, it's not going to work. You have to do it. Give it 3 months and you'll be evangelical about it like I am right now. Give it 3 months. I mean, Northern Hemisphere girlies, okay? It's coming up to October, November, December. Let's hunker down in the gym for 45 minutes, 3 times a week. Just lift some weights, get stronger. By January 1st, oh my gosh, what a cliche, you will feel hot. You'll feel so good in your body. You'll feel so strong. You'll feel better in your clothes. You'll put the swimsuit on to go on the beach vacation to Mexico in January when they're in the middle of winter. Your joints are going to feel good. You're going to sleep better. Your appetite's going to be more robust. I can teach you how to eat if you want to work with me in the metabolic mentorship, or you can jump into the metabolic reboot, which opens up a couple times a year. Get the eating going, get the feeding going, feel amazing in your body. By January 1st, you can be ahead of the game. And that's a cliche for me to say that. I can't believe I just said it, but what the hell? I said it. It's out there. Let's go. October, November, December. The best time of the year to get into the gym is right now. When it's dark, getting darker, colder, get in the gym. It's bright, it's warm, you'll get stronger, your body will change in a way that will excite you so much. And you're not going to become huge. That's not happening to you at your stage of life. Like, we just don't have it in us to put on tons of muscle. We're losing muscle, gals. We're losing it quickly. That's why your metabolism slowed down, because you lost lean body mass, metabolically active tissue. That's why your clothes don't look good. You might say, I haven't gained that much weight on the scale, but like my clothes, just like nothing looks good. Like everything looks kind of squishy. And the squishiness is loss of muscle. When you were in your 30s, you had a little bit of muscle. Whether you were lifting weights or not, your body just had muscle. And so your shape was cute because muscle gives us shape. Bone and skin doesn't give us shape. Muscle gives us that little shape. You had sort of little cute shoulders and maybe like a cute bum and like cute hips, and maybe your legs had a cute shape because you had muscle. Now you don't. So now if you're going to try to lose weight, lose fat, you're losing fat, but you're uncovering a body that's devoid of muscle. It's not a good look. So if you want to look better, put some muscle on. You're not going to put a ton on. It's impossible for women our age to put on tons of muscle. Like, come on. We're walking up the down escalator. You're just trying to preserve what you once had. That's it. Okay. And you're going to like the way you look, like the way you feel. It's worth it. I'm going to riff on why and how you must strength train. So, number one, it's a weight loss hack. The main reason you should be excited to embark on a serious progressive strength training program is that it will change your body, the look and the feel of it in ways that will blow your mind. You'll feel leaner, you'll feel tighter, you'll feel smaller, you'll feel cuter, curvier. You're like the way you look in the mirror. But strength training also has an immense metabolic impact. I consider it to be a fat loss hack. It isn't just about stronger muscles, it's about a stronger metabolism. So every time you pick up a weight, you're training your body to use fuel differently. So the muscle cells of your body are very hungry cells. They're very metabolically active cells. And if we're utilizing our muscle cells, we're creating even more metabolic efficiency in our body because all of our muscle cells require us to be very, very, very metabolically flexible and efficient. So strength training gooses this metabolic flexibility and efficiency. So your metabolism is not a speed thing. It's not fast or slow. It's an adaptive system that's responding to signals, and strength training is one of the clearest signals you can send to your body. We need to be strong. We need to be resilient. We need nutrients packaged away. We need fuel packaged away. It utilizes nutrients and fuel in your body in such an active, productive way that just dieting by itself doesn't do. Muscle tissue is metabolically active. Every muscle fiber is like a little tiny engine that burns fuel even when you're resting. So the more lean tissue you carry, the more of these engines you have humming along, like boosting your kind of daily calorie burn and keeping your body very efficient, just keeping you very metabolically robust and efficient. Strength training is really, really good at sensitizing your cells to the hormone insulin. I'm not going to bore you with insulin, but if you want to talk about balancing your hormones for weight loss, well, insulin's the hormone you're talking about, and maybe cortisol to a certain extent. Cortisol and insulin have a working relationship. They're both fuel partitioning hormones. Getting insulin working really well at your muscle cells is going to change your life. It's going to make you less hungry, less snacky, solves your sugar cravings, solves your energy crashes, helps you lose fat and stay lean without any issue. Resolving insulin sensitivity also is going to help you age better and get to the end of your life in great health. Strength training improves insulin sensitivity to an astonishing degree. So when you're strength training, you're not just building muscle, you're encouraging great metabolic health, which pays incredible dividends in terms of fat loss, in terms of vibrancy and energy. I'm talking life energy. Metabolically healthy people just feel more energetic, more vital, more vibrant. But it's teaching your body to use fuel better. And fuel utilization is what we're after if we're looking to lose fat, right? Your body has to be better at utilizing fuel. That's metabolism. That's metabolic health. And building muscle helps you really encourage incredible metabolic health. The second reason why you must strength train is to preserve your lean body mass. So this is my beef with women who want to lose weight and they get on the scale and it's like, I need the scale to go down. No, you don't. That's the last thing you need. If the scale weight's going down, you're probably losing muscle and you might be losing bone. Fat, I don't know. Probably not. You're probably becoming skinny fat. The scale doesn't tell us what's going on. So I really just think we need to move away from the idea of weight loss. We need to recompose the body, less fat, and then preserve muscle and bone. Now, muscle and bone are heavy. They're relatively heavier than fat. So if fat's going away, but muscle and bone are staying put, you might not lose weight on the scale at all. Personally, I went down 4 pant sizes and did not lose a pound. I still weigh the same and I'm damn heavy and I'm proud of it. The distinction between fat loss and weight loss is crucial for women 40 plus. Because after your 30th birthday, Your body naturally begins to lose lean mass unless you actively fight to keep it. Lean body mass, I've already mentioned, is the engine of your metabolism. The less lean mass you have, the slower your metabolism is. That slowness that you think you're feeling is because your most metabolically active tissue is gone. Because metabolism itself doesn't slow down, but your body's demand for nourishment changes depending on what your body's made of. And a body that has muscle has a greater energy demand. And one of the reasons why you used to be able to eat whatever you want without gaining weight is because you used to have muscle, just a little bit, not tons. I'm not saying you were a bodybuilder, but you had muscle on your body and now it's probably gone. So if you want to get back to being able to eat more without having these massive fluctuations in body fat, put muscle on. When estrogen and progesterone decline in the menopause transition, your body naturally does have a little metabolic blip where it starts to shift toward putting fat around the trunk, this visceral fat you've heard about. And this is just a consequence of a metabolic dysregulation known as insulin resistance. Mild insulin resistance is a common symptom of the menopause transition where your cells just start to kind of close the door on the hormone insulin. So insulin starts to take your fuel and package it away around your trunk for safekeeping. So our trunk thickens. That's the experience of the meno-belly, the thickening of the trunk, or the protruding of the belly. It's just the whole trunk just kind of expands three-dimensionally. Remember what I said earlier, the active strength training is shown in the research time and again, thousands of papers to sensitize the muscle cells to the hormone insulin so your fuel can get into the cells and get used instead of stuck on your body. So it resolves the metabolic dysfunction that happens in the menopause transition. Preserving lean mass is the antidote to what we've decided is an inevitable midlife weight gain. It's not inevitable. It's just a small blip in the metabolic action, and you need to change your inputs. We specifically, women our age, because we were so indoctrinated into cardio and salads and Diet Coke and rice cakes in our youth, it's a major change for us to say, okay, now I got to eat protein and lift weights. That's just because of the programming. That's just the programming. It's not crazy to eat protein and lift weights. You should have been doing that the whole time. But we didn't. But now we must. So you have to change how you eat. What used to work won't work anymore. Here's something I think is really important. Muscle is a protective layer for your bones and joints. Every pound of lean tissue helps to cushion your joints and absorb joint impact and help prevent injury. Strong joints have muscles around them. And strength training also stimulates your bones to stay strong. So it's weight-bearing exercise that is great for bone density. And this is really crucial for preventing osteoporosis. I had a woman who came to my fitness class. In this fitness class I teach it's not a strength training class, but it's a barbell class. And I said, over time, when you start coming to this class, you might start lifting more weight. And she said, oh, I can't lift weights. I have osteoporosis. And it was everything I could do to stop myself from saying, this is why we have to lift weights. I mean, she already has osteoporosis, so maybe that disease process has already progressed to the point where she's not getting her bone back. But you can. Even if you have osteopenia, you can still rebuild bone. Osteopenia is like the early stage of osteoporosis. It's interesting. We have these new diseases now that describe the beginning stages of other diseases. So we have osteopenia, osteoporosis, perimenopause, menopause, prediabetes, diabetes. It's like the medical industry is trying to warn you, okay, you're going to be osteoporotic if you don't lift weights, right? So all of us women, we need to preserve our bone density because that's another thing that we lose when estrogen starts to peace out. You know what I mean? Strength training shapes your body rather than just shrinking it. Weight loss without muscle preservation leads to that skinny fat look where you're smaller but softer and kind of saggy. It's not that cute. Preserving lean mass ensures that the fat comes off and then you reveal a cute shape. That toned look, shall we say. It's fine. I'm going to use the word toned. It's not a great word. But if you want to like the way you look in your clothes and in photographs, you need some muscle under your skin because it looks good. By the way, earlier I mentioned some of the menopause fitness influencers who are walking around with absolutely shredded six packs. That's not what I'm talking about. I have no interest in living in a body like that. I don't want to have that kind of obsessive diet or exercise relationship, but I just want to have a healthy enough body with enough muscle that my clothes look cute. That's all. Just like you, I'm going to look good in my clothes. Too easy. Preserving your lean body mass keeps you very functional and independent, aka badass as you age. So women over 40 who begin the process or reintroduce the process of strength training to preserve lean body mass, you're investing in independence for decades to come. I like to think that I've got a good, solid 4 more decades on this planet. I want most of those to be living life. And for whatever it's worth, my mom started to check out of her own life, like I would say toward her late 50s or early 60s. By the time she was 60, she was an old lady. That's 10 years away from me. I'm not going to be an old lady in 10 years. No. Every pound of lean body mass you preserve, pound on the scale, it keeps your metabolism active, your bones strong, and your body looking great, and your future independent. You get more years back. You're not going to be old by the time you're 60. This is why we don't just eat salads and do cardio around here. That's a recipe for losing muscle. It's not working. You won't like the way it looks. Speaking of looks, that's one of the reasons why we're doing this. I'm going to reiterate that looking better in your clothes, people that I work with on weight loss want to fit back into their clothes. They also would like to look better in photographs, which is a whole other situation. But you want to zip up the jeans without a fight. To me, it's like, I want to know that everything in my closet looks the way I expect it's going to look. Not only can I get it on, but it also looks the way I expect it's going to look. And I can tell you that I've achieved that. Everything in my closet, I don't have any new clothes because all my clothes still fit me. And they look the way I expect them to look. I never put something on and say, oh, I've got a new lump or bump there. So just preserving your body shape is going to help you like the way you look in your clothes and not dread what you see in the mirror, or like dreading the idea of packing a suitcase, which I'm about to do. I have to pack a suitcase to go on a long trip. And what I'm not going to do is try on every article of clothing that I own and throw them on the bed frustrated because nothing fits and then have to clean everything up off the bed. I think that's a really distressing experience to put all your clothes on the bed and then none of these clothes fit or look good and you need to hang them back up in your closet. And there's this whole like weird, we're really hanging on to some bad feelings about our clothes, right? I want you to fit back into your clothes. And there's nothing shallow about that. How you look and feel in your clothes affects how you carry yourself, how you show up, how comfortable you feel in your own skin. Now, looking better in your clothes has nothing to do with how much you weigh on the scale and everything to do with how your body is composed. What is your body composed of? Bone and muscle are the beautiful sort of scaffolding that our clothes hang off of. And the fat, losing excess body fat, helps clothes to kind of skim you in a cuter way. So there's no lumps or bumps that you don't like, or the lumps and bumps are smaller, or the little bulgy bits hanging over. That's fat loss. But we have to also preserve the shape of our body underneath the fat. This is what helps us to look good in and out of our clothes. Now, when you diet, if you go on a strict diet, this is known, you lose fat and muscle. That's not good. You might end up smaller on the scale, but your clothes still don't look good. We need to preserve all of our lean body mass and then seek and destroy fat. And there's a specific way of eating that does that, and it's not crash dieting. It's not crash dieting. So don't jump on a 12-week bikini shred program thinking that's going to get you the body of your dreams. It's going to crash diet you into a loss of fat, muscle, and bone. And then the muscle and bone is hard to get back. The fat comes back, no problem. The muscle and bone is harder to get back. We have to preserve lean body mass while losing fat. That's what my program does. Mine is a metabolic approach to fat loss. Like, let's get your body better at using fat. So we spare the muscle and bone loss. We get the fat going. But now that we're aging, we have to actually put a bit more effort into the muscle preserving piece of this because our body's trying to let it go. So strength training really changes how fat loss looks. I want to circle back on the joint health piece as I go down my list of why we're doing this. And I kind of touched on this in my preamble. I think there's a misconception that exercise hurts our joints or puts wear and tear on our joints. I would say for sure bar classes where you're doing 1,000 pulse squats is putting wear and tear on your joint because you're not developing any muscle around joints. You're just asking the joint, your knees, to pulse squat and grind. If you had muscular legs, you wouldn't be doing a pulse squat. You'd be doing a full squat. First of all, pulse squat is not a strong exercise. It hurts because it's a partial range of motion that just burns you out. Just because it hurts doesn't mean it's making you stronger. I really don't have a high opinion of bar classes. But exercise appropriately does not break down joints. It preserves joints. Joints are designed to move, and they move by utilizing muscle to bend and extend them, ideally in full ranges of motion. And when you stop doing that, joints lose some nutrition. They lose the circulation they get from motion. They lose that sort of quote unquote muscle memory of how to move like that. And this can lead to stiffness, aches, and the sense that you're kind of just getting old and your bones and joints don't work anymore. Well, so every time you do a lunge or a press or a hinge or a squat, Anytime you're moving joints through rich range of motion by utilizing the muscles that move joints, you're nourishing your joint surfaces, making your joints healthier. And muscle acts like armor around your joints. So strong quads protect your knees, strong glutes stabilize your hips. Those are two of the joints that hurt the most for me, my knees and my hips and my shoulders. And now that I'm stronger around those joints, they don't hurt anymore because now my muscles can take the load instead of my joints having to take all the load. Without muscle, your joints have to absorb everything. With muscle, the load is distributed and absorbed safely. The best mobility training we've got is strength training, moving your joints through full ranges of motion against some kind of resistance. Instead of passively stretching in yoga class, which I love yoga class has stopped helping me become mobile. I don't feel better. I don't feel like my joints are moving better after yoga. My muscles feel longer, but my joints don't feel healthier. And that's because joints are meant to move, not just statically hang out while you stretch muscles. Joints have to move. What I've learned personally is that I am so much more supple now that I've focused on strength training than I was when I was kind of just in pain and doing yoga to try to make myself feel better. I'm way more bendy now. I don't think joint pain is your destiny. Yes, your hormones play a role in menopause transition. The loss of estrogen can generate some joint pain by way of an inflammatory process that's kind of a function of menopause. But strength training helps to keep the joints nourished, moving, supported, resilient. It's really one of the best hacks we have to help you move freely and comfortably for the rest of your life. Speaking of which, this is something I want to bring in from the perspective of longevity medicine. This is considered absolute truth in the longevity medicine space. So heart health and metabolic health, this improves your quantity of life. So we'll live longer if we tend to our metabolic health. And heart health is one of the sort of arms of metabolic health. Metabolic health is what I work on with my clients in the metabolic mentorship, is getting the body metabolically healthier. And if we are metabolically healthy, we don't succumb to the metabolic diseases of aging, like diabetes, heart disease, blood pressure issues, blood lipid issues, cholesterol, dementia, cancer, what have you. Metabolic health and heart health improves your quantity of life, your length of life, but strength training improves your quality of life. So let's say you get to be into your 90s. If you don't have a well-moving body, the quality of your life isn't there. And I see this in my dad, who's in his mid-80s. And my dad's world is shrinking because he can't move. He can't move because he stopped moving. And now he has to stop moving more. He's moving into an apartment that's right next to the elevator. He keeps his dishes on the counter because he can't put them in the cupboard. And he has to park his car right in well, my dad doesn't drive anymore. But before he quit driving, he had to change his car parking spot to the one closest to the door. He just can't move. The quality of life shrinks dramatically when you can't move. And at the end of the day, quality of life is what it's all about. Who cares if we're living until our 90s if we can't live our lives? Taking care of your body isn't about looking cute in your clothes at the end of the day. It's actually about building a life that feels awesome. And so when you work with me in the mentorship, for example, I'm going to ask you, what does your life look like when this is great, when everything's feeling like it's working better? And it always comes down to adventure. It always comes down to living. And that adventure could be, I love to climb mountains, or it could be, my husband and I love to go RVing. And even just being able to sit in the RV for a long period of time and then get out and go for walks and explore requires mobility. Whatever your adventures are that are on your agenda, whether they're extreme or not, the quality of those life experiences is going to depend on whether you can move or not. So yes, we get the everyday tasks feel easier. Like my dad, he doesn't even buy groceries anymore. He can't carry groceries, so he gets them delivered. Isn't that lucky that we can even do that? If grocery delivery didn't exist, which it didn't, up until relatively recently, my dad would have had to go to the store and get his groceries. And maybe the act of going and getting the groceries and carrying the bags back might have kept his body working better. But the second his body started kind of working poorly, he outsourced movement to the Instacart lady. Now, when you're fighting against your body that's breaking down, that feels very draining, and it can drain the experiential joy out of your life. And I don't want that for you. My dad will never travel again. He's never coming to visit me again. For as long as he lives, he'll never be out here on my beautiful property again because he can't travel. He can't see things. He can't go places. He wants to. He can't. I know we all have aging and ailing parents, and this is a really sad, hard conversation. But my dad was an adventurous man. That's still in him. He's still an adventurous dude. He just can't. I don't want that. I want more can in my life for as long as possible. So I wanted to just mention that from the longevity research. Now, here's how I've built Simple Strength. And I'm going to wrap this up relatively quickly because I've been talking for such a long time. But first of all, I needed us to eliminate injury risk because when we're in our 40s or 50s or 60s or beyond, we don't bounce back from little niggling pain and injuries as well as we used to. Like if you were in your 20s and you tweaked your back doing a lift, you'd be fine in a couple days, but that's not true. So we have to eliminate things that tend to be more in the realm of potentially harmful. So I really, really reduced injury risk. So there's no heavy squatting and no heavy deadlifting in simple strength. It's just not worth it. I love heavy squatting. I love heavy deadlifting. But I myself know that if I'm not 100% on point with those lifts, then I hurt myself and then I'm out for months. And being out for months, we can't afford it because, again, our body is dropping lean body mass like a hot potato. So we can't afford to have months away battling an injury. So we just want to eliminate injury risk. So I've removed exercises that tend to have more injury potential. And the second how is to optimize for long-term adherence. And my perspective on adherence is if we can make this feel as easy as possible, then you'll do it. The second it feels too hard, you're going to quit. So that's how I do everything. Everything has to feel as easy as possible. So simple strength is 6 exercises put together into pairs. So you have 3 pairs of exercises. 2 to 3 days a week is fine. You're going to cycle through these pairs. Workout A is the lunge and the chest press. A lunge is a single leg squat pattern. We're going single leg squat instead of heavy squats because the single leg squat uses half as much weight because a lunge is a single leg exercise, but it also has a lot of balance, proprioception, stability. Training single leg helps you to shore up imbalances. Like if you happen to have one leg that's a little stronger than the other, you're going to solve that. You're going to keep your body balanced by training one leg at a time. We do the lunge and we partner that with a chest press, a dumbbell chest press. We're not doing any barbell bench pressing because that, again, the barbell bench press is just a little risky if your technique's not perfect one day because you're tired or you're preoccupied. A barbell bench press can go a little haywire, but a dumbbell bench press, because you have 2 individual handheld weights, there's a little more give. Like you have more, there's more freedom in that movement, I guess is what I'll say. So those 2 exercises together, the lunge and the chest press. Workout B is the deadlift and the shoulder press. Now the deadlift we're going to do is a single leg deadlift, some kind of single leg deadlift. So again, you're balancing on one leg, training one leg at a time. Because it's a single leg, we will use less weight, so we don't have the injury risk of a typical heavy deadlift. I really recommend using dumbbells for this and like a single arm with a balance component so you can lean against the wall while you're doing it. Single leg deadlift gives you all the benefits of the deadlift pattern, which is a really crucial pattern, without the excessive weight needed in a traditional deadlift. Shoulder press is the overhead pressing motion, which we can't lose. That's one of the moves that we seem to lose first. It just my shoulders don't want to reach overhead. Well, they should want to. We got to get back overhead. We're going to do that by using weights. Workout C is a hip thrust and a pull down. Now, I should pause to mention that this is a gym-based program. So I designed this program thinking that you've got a gym membership. If you don't, I think you should go get one. I just don't think a home gym is sufficient for progressive strength training. In this particular case, we've got a hip thrust, which is a really important exercise for the biggest muscles in the back of your body, your lower back, your glutes and your hamstrings. These are really crucial muscles that need to remain strong. They're longevity, anti-aging muscles from the perspective of being able to move well. And the pull down is a machine at the gym, okay? Nobody has a pull down machine at their house. We're doing a pull down because that vertical row is a really amazing back strengthening exercise and arms and everything and shoulder mobility. And most of us can't do a pull up. Pull up is where you hang it from the chin up bar and you're going to pull your body up to the bar. Most of us can't do it. So we're going to do a pull down instead. Now you need to be at the gym for that because you don't have a pull down machine at your home gym. But I did offer another option. If you're absolutely adamant that you're not going to join the gym, you could do a row instead. So it's a hip thrust and a pull down or a row if you're insisting on not going to the gym. But can I just say something? Just get a gym membership. Like, why not? Just go get a gym. I know gyms are weird, but also you can get used to it. You've done weirder things than go to the gym. You've done weirder things than go to a big building where they exercise. You know, like we're just all there exercising. I think people worry that they're going to look like a weirdo or a fish out of water, but like nobody's going to look at you. I promise. And I've got a program for you that you can just put your headphones on and do. And you'll be in and out in 30 minutes. Maybe if you add a little warm up, of course you need a warm up. We need a little stretch at the end if you feel like you want that. Maybe 45 minutes, 2 to 3 times a week. Just get a gym membership, man. Just get a gym membership. It's worth it. It's an investment into your future health. I don't know how much a gym membership costs because I don't have to pay for mine. I get mine for free. But my yoga studio membership's $109 a month. And my sauna membership's $120 a month or something like that. And if I was a person who got nails done, which I'm not, I'd be paying $100 a month for nails or eyelashes, $100 a month. Like, we'll pay $100 a month for things. Get a gym membership. It's so worth it. There's no downside to this. Now, here's the thing. In terms of tracking your progress, you have to, because you have to constantly progress the weights on these 6 exercises. We're doing 4 sets of 8 reps of every exercise. Okay, we're doing 2 building sets to warm us up and then 4 working sets of 8 reps at your working weight. There's no deadline for the weight increase. You're just going to get to the point where whatever weight you're using now, let's say for the shoulder press, you're using 10-pound dumbbells. Maybe you get to a point where it's like, you know what? These don't feel that hard anymore. I'm going to go a little heavier next time. So next time you come in, you're going to check your progress tracker, which I recommend using the Notes app on your phone. I'm going to give you the text to copy and paste into your Notes app. We're keeping this so simple. You already have your phone on you. You already use your Notes app. There's 100,000 different workout trainer apps out there, and I just don't like them. There's not one I've ever seen that I like. I want you to be able to track your weights. You're always going to do 4 sets of 8 reps of all 6 of these exercises. The only thing that will ever change is the weight. So you come in and you're like, today I'm going to increase my weight on shoulder press, and you go grab the 12.5-pound dumbbells and you do it and it works. And now you go into your Notes app and you delete where it said 10 pounds, you backspace and delete and you go 12.5 pounds. That's your new weight. All you ever need to know is your current working weight. And then you'll just be paying attention. Every few weeks or months, a lift will increase on weight. Just a little bit, just a tiny bit. We got forever, man. This is an infinite process. By the way, it's an infinite cycle. So we have workout A, workout B, workout C. Just do A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C. If you're training 5 days a week or 1 day a week or once a month, just follow the alphabet, A, B, C, forever and ever and ever. These 6 exercises are all you ever need to do. Now, why do I say 4 sets of 8 reps? Well, I had to pick a rep range, and I wanted it to be in a strength rep range. I wanted it to feel challenging and heavy, but not like majorly time consuming. So I wanted a lower rep range. So people might say anywhere from 4 to 12 reps. Well, I hate that. That's too much of a range. Is it 4 or is it 12? Those are very different. So I picked 8. How much weight can you move for 8 repetitions 4 times? And just so you know, the 6th, 7th, and 8th reps on each set will probably slow down a little bit. They're going to feel a little more effortful. You might make a face, you might make a sound, but you're going to get them done. You can get through all 8 of them, but the last 3 slow down a bit. That's how you're going to know you're lifting the right weight. And when those reps don't slow down anymore, when you can get all 8, no problem, it's time to increase your weight. If you're getting through it, no problem, you're holding the wrong dumbbell in your hand. Go get something heavier. We don't get stronger by staying comfortable, but I want to speak to the discomfort of strength training. Here's what I love about strength training is it actually doesn't hurt while you're doing it. It doesn't burn. You don't feel pain while you're strength training. It's just your muscles stop being able to move the thing. You're like, I just can't get it to go anymore. I'm done. That's how you know you're done. You just can't do it anymore. Now, the next day it will hurt a little bit, or maybe not. It doesn't have to hurt. It never has to hurt. If you're progressing the weight over time, you're getting stronger. You're doing the thing. We have to progress weight indefinitely, but there's no schedule as to when you increase the weight. You're going to have to notice when it's time to increase your weight. And then all I want you to do is track it in your Notes app on your phone. I've kept this so low tech. Inside the Simple Strength program, there's exercise demonstrations. I've specifically identified 2 or 3 variations of exercises. So for example, the single leg deadlift, there's 2 or 3 different ways to do it. There's actually a million ways to do it, but I've zeroed in on 2 or 3 that I like. Pick one of those and go with it. That's your exercise. I don't want you to be overwhelmed by the sheer number of exercises that exist. I don't want you to be overwhelmed by complex technology. It's simple strength. These 6 exercises, the lunge, the chest press, the single leg deadlift, the shoulder press, the hip thrust, and the pull down or row, give you every single thing you need. Every muscle works around every joint. Your joints will be healthy. You're going to be metabolically healthy. You're going to love the way you look in clothes. You're going to fight aging intentionally. All that stuff that we count as aging, the pain, the fatigue, the lethargy, the sluggishness, the slowness, the shrinking of our life, we fight back against that by remaining strong. Strong is resilient. Resilient is badass. You get to live your life. All you have to do is 2 or 3 30 to 45 minute strength training sessions a week, 6 exercises ever again. It's simple strength and it's for you. I made it for you. So you should go to www.eatsimple.ca/strong and buy Simple Strength for $10. And then take the next step, open it, and then take the next step. Go to the gym tomorrow and do workout A. It starts right now. Don't have a gym membership? Get one. This is gym-based training, and I just want you to have a gym membership. Commit to this project. Get the tools and resources you need. Get a gym membership, honestly. All right, Simple Strength, I made it for you. It's available now, and it's simple, and it's effective, and it's going to change your life.